Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Cubs postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Joe George here with you. Frustrating loss again for the Cubs. The bloop to death, bunts, not coming through with runners in scoring position. Pretty much everything that could go wrong is going wrong for the Cubs in this loss to the Philadelphia Phillies, and they lose in extras 4-3. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Look, so there's a lot to get to in this game. Another tough call that doesn't go the Cubs' way, not hitting with runners on at all besides Crow-Armstrong. One hit with runners on base in this game. Daniel Palencia going out there again for a second inning after only throwing 8 pitches. Your comments are welcome here live on YouTube. I'm sure people are going to have a lot of different thoughts on today's game. We'll kind of hit on as much of it and all of it that we can. Let's start with the obvious here. The Cubs need to start getting hits with runners on base. That's the reason why they lost this game. You can't have your first hit with a runner on base coming in extra innings from Crow-Armstrong. The home run from Kyle Tucker is awesome. The home run from Ian Happ was a bomb. Those are great. But the Cubs are not hitting with runners on base. It's been a problem for the last 4 games. They had 5 home runs in one game. They have 2 home runs in this game. And largely besides that, they're getting shut out or scoring 1 run. That's what the Cubs are doing right now. They're not doing, over this recent stretch, they're not converting their opportunities, and they're having lots of them. They're doing the first half of the job. They're getting guys on base, whether it's runners on first or second, whatever, but they're not converting the opportunities, and that's why the Cubs lost this game. It's not your pitching, because Matthew Boyd was pretty good again in this game. Ryan Pressly had a chance to be a disaster. He overcame that, had first and second, got out of the inning, was fantastic in his performance. You got a great first extra inning performance from Daniel Palencia, and then, of course, all hell breaks loose with the bunts. But again, the problem in this game is that Crow-Armstrong comes up in extra innings and is the first Cubs batter to get a hit with runners in scoring position or runners on base. That's why you lost this game. The guys on this team are just not good enough over the last 4 days, I would say. And that's why it's 4 days. This is not the end of the world. Yes, I get it. The Cubs have played the third most teams under 500 this season. But they beat the Dodgers, they beat the Padres. But right now, you're playing good teams. They lost this last series, and they start this series off with the Phillies against a loss. And you're not hitting great pitching. You're getting most of your damage in these games that you have a chance to, even if you go back to the Red series that happened. You're getting your damage against bullpens. You're not getting your damage against the best guys that you're facing at the start of games. Zach Wheeler was dominating the Cubs in this game, pretty much able to do whatever he wanted to at will to whoever was up on the plate. So look, the thing is there's no reason to panic. There's no reason to think like the season is over or that this team stinks. They're in first place. They have one of the best offenses in baseball, and they are in a rut right now. I believe it was for 12 with men on base in this game. So again, you're getting guys on, but you're just not doing enough. And you have opportunities. That's the other thing, too, is you have opportunities in a lot of these close losses against the Tigers and the Phillies here that you're just not coming through for. The 11th inning is obviously the best example of this. You have obviously the ghost runner, Crow-Armstrong, rips the double, 101 miles per hour, gets the run in. So you've got a runner on first base, or a runner on second base with 1 out. Dansby Swanson swings at 100-mile-an-hour gas out of the zone, above his head basically, and he strikes out, and then Michael Busch grounds out, and the inning is over. But again, 2 in the top of the 10th. Matt Shaw hits a ground out to the third baseman. Runner can't move over. Ian Happ and Tucker both fly out there. So you're giving a runner on second base there in extras, and you only convert 1 run. In extras, with the man-for-man rule, it's not good enough. We all know that at this point. You have to score more than 1 run in extra innings to get wins in extras, just because teams with that runner on second base, they're finding a way to get more than 1 run more often than not. In this game, we saw the Phillies take the bunting approach. Now, quick positive note here on Matt Shaw. Phenomenal defense in the bottom of the 10th. The double play that he gets, tagging out third, great throw to first. And then the next play to get the third out of the inning, that thing took a weird hop. He goes up and grabs it as he's moving to his left, gets the out. So that's great defense there from Matt Shaw. The other positive of this game that I want to stress here, and this is a good point here from Christopher, is right about what I was about to get to. While the production is not there, it's not like this offense is totally inadequate and not hitting the ball at all. There is some unfortunate luck to me that's happening over the last 4 games with the Cubs. You look back to earlier in the Cubs game. Let's go here to the top of the 4th inning. 3 outs, no runners get on. The 3 outs there, 102-mile exit velocity, 96.8, 97.3. That's the Dansby Swanson rope to third base, and then 2 balls hit to the warning track. So you're getting good contact in this game. You're just not converting. So some of that's bad luck. Some of that's not clutch hitting. It's a little bit of combo. Like, I don't want to say it's all not being clutch, but there is some bad luck that the Cubs are going through right now. You would think, just by guessing, you would think that over the last 2 days, the call at home plate by Ian Happ and then the call at first base today that were both challenged, that if they're called the other way on the field, they're going the Cubs' ways. Okay? There's no doubt about it. Neither call goes the Cubs' way in this game, in either game. It's just unfortunate, a lot of it. That, to me, is the best way to describe the last 4 days, besides the 5 home run game. It's unfortunate and frustrating. Now, we did see a couple changes in this game that we're going to hit on. First, let's talk about Carson Kelly real quick. He's been in a huge rut. He is a huge part of this team that we've seen, early the production that you were getting from Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly. We've talked a lot about the last couple days. We finally see Carson Kelly move down in the lineup. It obviously doesn't matter because he's not getting on. He's not driving in guys. Other guys aren't driving in guys. I'm glad we at least finally saw that. And Pete Crow-Armstrong, while he had that big hit in the 11th inning, he did not have his best ball game today either. He's swinging at a lot of stuff outside the zone, and it's just not going for him like the elite level like we've seen at times this season. So kind of everything that's going wrong for the lineup is going wrong right now. If it's not a home run, the Cubs really are not scoring. That, to me, is the biggest thing with this stretch of baseball, is that if it's not a home run, they're not scoring. They got to get back to what they've been doing well, and that's been playing small ball, getting guys on base, guys moving and stealing bags, guys walking. That all, to me, seems very down right now for the Cubs. So hopefully you can win the next 2 games in this series, really get this thing back on track and roll into a way we all feel very positive about. But you play a lot of teams above 500, 27 of the next 31 games. It was 31 out of 35. Outside of a 4-game stretch against the Pirates at home, you're playing all teams above 500. This is a tough stretch of baseball for the Cubs, and they have to start coming through better in these situations, or their lead is not going to hold in the division. That is the reality. If you don't start winning more consistently against these better teams, like they did the first part of the season, when you played the Diamondbacks and the Padres and the Dodgers, those results have to start coming back for the Cubs, or they are going to fall out of first place. And that June swoon could be a real thing for the Cubs. It's only June 9th. We're not there yet. But if you're talking about where it's trending, it is trending in a direction that I don't think I like right now. Not panicking, but I don't like the trend of what's happening for the Cubs because of what made their offense so successful early in the season. I feel like a lot of it's gone. Again, no lack of steals, lack of walks, strikeouts are up. A lot of it is just not the Cubs baseball we saw for the first 2 months of the season of recent, even going back to the Rockies series. It's just not there in the way that I think we've gotten ready to expect for this season. We'll talk to you. We'll get your questions, your comments, your reactions as well, whether it's a calm take or a spicy take. We'll try to get to that here on the other side. We'll talk a little bit more about Ryan Presley as well here on the Locked on Cubs postcast on the Locked on Cubs YouTube channel. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keeping you feeling fuller longer. We go with the individual packs that come in like a pack of 8, the no-shell variety. We go with those in our house. It's an easy, quick snack, no mess. That's why we go with those. They're absolutely fantastic. So get snacking and get cracking with the Snack the Packs of Protein Punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Today's show is also brought to you by Gametime. If you ever decide at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family, maybe it's game day, and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes all of that possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. The Cubs are coming to town here in Houston, where I live right now, and I'm looking forward to go seeing them at least 2 times while they're here. And I used Gametime to get my tickets for those games already. So you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, let's talk more about this game today. Obviously, not a great one. Cubs are in a rut right now. I think there's no other way to put it. That's probably the nicest way to put it right now. They're in a rut. Let's talk quickly here before we get to some of your questions and comments. You can start dropping them again here in the chat. We'll try to get to a couple of them before the show wraps up today. Daniel Palencia going back out there for the 11th. Only threw 8 pitches. Honestly, I don't hate the move. I'm curious if Craig Counsell is not ejected for the second straight day. If that's the move that he makes, my guess is the answer is yes. That's probably an analytical decision that probably would have made one way or the other. Frankly, I don't really know who else you're going to with who had already been used in the bullpen in that game tonight. So I'm fine with Palencia not getting it done. The only thing my only real thing with the bottom of the 11th there is, oh man, can the Cubs learn to bunt like the Phillies did in this game? Because they needed it. Again, not hitting with runners on base in situations there is part of the reason why, if not it's the reason why the Cubs lost this game. I wish the Cubs could do some of that, especially a guy like Dansby Swanson, who's going through it again right now. He's back in one of his slumps. He's not hitting the ball very well. If he could go out there and get a bunt to move someone over when it's his opportunity to do so, that'd be so nice to see that happen. The Cubs lack that ability, and I'm not – you have to bunt all the time in extra innings, but being able to do that occasionally I feel like would be nice to do so. But again, this loss comes down to when you had opportunities to get guys home, you just didn't do it. So we can get to your questions and comments here in the chat. A lot of predictions about the Cubs being in third place by the end of the month. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the Cubs will be fine. They're in a rut right now. I think they're going to figure this thing out. I do think you're seeing an urgency from the fan base and a lot of in terms of adding. But again, it's not like this is the starting pitching. Like that's the thing that I think is lost in terms of what the Cubs are going to be able to do at the deadline. It's the starting pitching. While they need to add to it, it's not been the problem. When they've had problems, it's not been that. Early in the season, it was the bullpen, and for the most part, it's been the lineup. Yes, you had a couple of bumpy starts from guys like Colin Ray and Ben Brown, but for the most part, guys like Matthew Boyd have continued to excel this season. So yes, they need to add starting pitching. I don't think that we're going to see the Cubs, though. For those that are in the chat saying the Cubs need to add another hitter, I don't think that's going to come. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I know that's what people feel like, especially after a game like today. Like, you need that extra bat in the lineup. My only question would be, if you really think that, where? Like where do you add a bat to this lineup? If that's what you feel like the Cubs really need to get over the hump this season and to get this team to where we think they should be and where we want them to be as fans, where do you think they could add in the lineup? Like, you're not going to add a first baseman. Michael Busch is your guy, even if he's not playing against lefties every day. You're not going to add a third baseman. Matt Shaw's the third baseman now and for the foreseeable future. Your outfield's full. Dansby Swanson makes a ton of money, and Miguel Amaya is at some point going to come back. Now, that rehab process does seem slow, He's not doing baseball activities yet. That was said on the broadcast today. That sucks. That sucks for the Cubs. These oblique injuries are brutal. There's no doubt about it. I know Shota, a couple questions here in the chat. I haven't heard anything yet about what Shota is. I'm sure Matt and Sam will have something on that during their show, but I have not seen how Shota did in his start, frankly. It's also being done in Arizona, I believe, so it may not even happen yet as we're live here. But these oblique injuries are killing him. And from a Porter Hodge, feels like that's a guy you would have liked to have tonight, to not have Daniel Palencia go back out there for the 11th. Now, again, the Phillies just bunted a bunch of times and largely beat you with soft contact. Like, it's not like they got hit around. And you had multiple opportunities, again, where this is where actually I think I'm the most frustrated with the Cubs. And I can't believe it took me this long to get here. Is in these games you've lost to the Phillies and the Tigers, your pitchers have put themselves in disaster situations. Bases loaded, runners on first and second, runners on second and third. And pretty consistently over the last 4 days, they've done a really good job of getting out of it. They have not allowed massive damage. They have not made these games insurmountable for the offense. The teams you're playing, whether it's the Tigers or the Phillies today, have given you every opportunity to win these baseball games. Again, it's the lineup that is the problem. The pitching, again, I don't think deserves enough credit for what they've done of recent and what they've done this season. Yes, they need more, but they're just not getting it done in the way that they need to. So another tough loss for the Cubs. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day for the Cubs, for the lineup. Need to get guys on base and need to start bringing them in when you have the opportunities. That is an absolute must for the game tomorrow and Wednesday to win the series against the Phillies. My name is Joe George. You find me on all social media platforms at Joe George Radio. You can subscribe to the Locked On YouTube channel. Make sure you do that as well. And wherever you get your audio podcast, Apple, Spotify, find us there. Like, subscribe to all of that stuff for our shows and for Matt and Sam's shows Monday through Friday as well. So that will do it for us. Thank you for watching. We will talk to you tomorrow.